Hey guys, it's Sasha. We really need to talk about Lucid because Lucid Motors has just exploded in price. Lucid Motors went up 31% yesterday to close at $35.48, which is an insane one-day rise. And this morning, Lucid is up another 7% at about $38 in pre-market trading as I'm recording this video. I mean, who could possibly have thought that Lucid shares would explode like this? Who could have thought? So today, I am going to talk about a few major other developments with Lucid Motors since earlier this week. First up, the CEO, Peter Rawlinson, gave a speech yesterday in Saudi Arabia where he mentioned several things that we didn't know before. I'll show you what he said, and I'll point out the most important bits. Then we'll have the event this weekend coming up after I published my video on Monday where I showed the photo of the first delivery cars on a truck and explained exactly what this means for the share price. They went unannounced, Lucid went unannounced, deliveries are actually starting this weekend. And naturally enough, at that point, everyone went mad. Lucid also said that actual production of those cars started in September. So something that we already knew, but the stock market completely blew up, even though if you watched that video 3 days ago, you already knew that this was coming. So at the end of the video, I will also share what I am doing with my Lucid position, my thoughts on the share price, where it's going, and what I think the next steps might be now that the share price has gone through the roof. But first, let's listen to the speech by Peter Rawlinson because it is really interesting.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me here. I'm really here to speak about the future of the electric car. And forgive me for being a bit biased, but I think there it is. That's the future of the electric car, the Lucid Air. Going into production and available to customers literally from this weekend. I'm dashing back to California after speaking to you to deliver to our first customers.
Now, this is a long speech. Peter talks for 15 minutes, so I won't go through the entire thing. I will leave a link in the description to the official video that I am watching here of the entire speech on the Future Investment Initiative channel. If you're interested in watching the whole thing, go and watch that video. Peter is speaking in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. So Peter did not wait very long before confirming the announcement that Lucid made just a few hours earlier. Lucid will start deliveries of their first cars this weekend in California. Some of the people who have placed their initial pre-orders will be picking up their keys and they have been invited to this event.
And I'm really keen to get this available to customers here in the Kingdom because the Kingdom is our second biggest market in terms of pre-orders. So Lucid Air is coming to town pretty soon for you to all enjoy. And I hope some of you had the opportunity to take a look at the Lucid Air. We've got a gold one inspired by the sands of the desert right outside the Ritz-Carlton.
It's really interesting that he refers to Saudi Arabia as Lucid's second biggest market, and that reference to that desert sand at the end. If you didn't already know, even though Lucid is a public company, it is still majority owned by the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund, who put their money into the business very early on, about 3 years ago, to help them to where they are today. And they still hold a huge number of those shares. And I am guessing that a whole load of rich people in Saudi Arabia who may or may not be linked to this fund are very excited by these Lucid cars. I mean, I am. But Peter lets out a very crucial slip about deliveries in Saudi Arabia later on in the speech. He actually said that Saudi Arabian deliveries will only start next summer. So they're not going to be seeing any cars for some time. So as Saudi Arabia is the second biggest market, I am guessing that means deliveries up until next summer will only happen in the United States, because if that's the second biggest market and they're only getting them next summer, nobody else is probably getting them until later next year at the very earliest, but probably not even then. This is actually a very good strategy. It makes it far easier for Lucid while they're just getting started, while they're just learning the ropes, to have all the cars in the same country. But it is also a little bit surprising. I thought that maybe, the owners of the company would maybe get the chance to skip the queue, but perhaps they're going to go and export a few cars over from the US. Anyway.
Now, this wasn't to be any car. I really wanted to advance the state of the art of the electric car. And that meant something called the space concept. By sculpting the batteries around the occupants, by miniaturizing the powertrain, we could make a car which was smaller and more compact and more agile on the outside. but larger and more roomier and more comfortable on the inside. No one had ever done this before. But the key to this was mastering our own destiny with complete control of miniaturization of our electric powertrain. So let's take a look at how we did this. This is our drive unit. We have one of these at the front of the car, one at the rear. Each is rated up to 670 horsepower. This is all done in-house, and it comprises motor, transmission, differential, and power electronics in a bundle, a complete combined unit. And if we look at the statistics for this, we see that it's capable of 670 horsepower, and it's nearly triple the power-to-weight ratio of the best of the competition. And in this case, it's a well-known EV brand from the US and a well-known EV brand from Germany. I'll leave you to guess who they may be. But we're about 3 times the power-to-weight ratio. This is unprecedented. This is the future.
This is incredibly important and is a big reason why I have invested so much into Lucid. Lucid are not just another startup in the EV space. These guys are very serious on a whole different level. And they are packing some incredibly serious technology into these cars. Their powertrains are market leading in terms of power delivery and in terms of power to weight ratios, and by some margin. But not only that, they have more amazing tech when it comes to the battery packs.
So around about 2016, I did something which was deemed a bit crazy. We went motor racing, and we created the battery pack for the World Championship Formula E race series. And up till then, the racing had been really limited by battery pack capacity. And the races had this ridiculous spectacle where the car would run out of electricity halfway through the race, and the driver would have to jump from one car to another. We changed all that. Our pack runs the full distance. And for the last 3 seasons, all the cars in Formula E, all the major automakers have used Lucid's battery technology. And we were able to transfer this knowledge to the pack, which you see there, which is the Lucid Air pack. That's up to 118 kilowatt hours in the case of the Dream Editions.
So here we have it. In the speech, Peter confirmed that the batteries sitting in the longest range Lucid Air Dream Edition cars are in fact 118 kilowatt hours, a little bit bigger than the 113 kilowatt hours that was sort of rumored and speculated beforehand, and that is very impressive. That is 4.41 miles per kilowatt hour. Tesla's new Model S long range has a 100 kilowatt hour battery and is EPA rated for 405 miles, which is 4.05 miles per kilowatt hour. That's a 10% difference, which is incredible given how far advanced Tesla is and given that Lucid is a brand new company with no experience. All the EVs made by all the other existing manufacturers, the competition, are way behind on this metric.
But we need a sales and service network. And so we've matched the demographics of our reservation holders right across the USA and opened a series of studios for direct sales to customer, a direct sales experience. And these stores are in great iconic cities right across the USA, from Los Angeles to Miami to New York to Boston, Chicago, and Scottsdale, Arizona. And we're providing support through our mobile service network right across the states as well. We'll have about 22 facilities open come the end of this year.
This is the bit that I really like about what Lucid is doing. If you see something that works amazingly well for someone else, just go and do the same thing. Don't reinvent the wheel. Tesla's stores with their clean minimalist design have been a huge success in promoting Tesla and getting customers without having to spend money on huge marketing campaigns. And they have pioneered this remote servicing model, which actually on balance works great. It is better and easier for customers, and it is way more efficient on cost as well. And so Lucid have just gone and done the same thing, but perhaps taken those stores up a notch or two. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And then, following that, we announced a landmark technical achievement for our car. The first EV over 500 miles range on an EPA cycle. We achieved 520. We like to underpromise and over-deliver. We'd indicated it would be 517, and we confirmed that this year that's a genuine US government confirmed rating, independently verified. And this is over 100 miles more range than the best of the competition.
That competition, of course, being Tesla. And this is a serious achievement. You've got to give credit where credit is due. 520 miles is a sort of territory where you don't really even care about being able to charge your car as you drive. You don't care about chargers on the road. You'll probably only ever, 99% of the time, be charging either at your home or at the destination. I have a feeling most people probably won't be driving more than 520 miles in one day.
And this is a landmark. But let me tell you, anyone could do this by just stuffing a whole bunch of batteries in. That would be a pretty dumb thing, wouldn't it? That's the last thing we should be doing, stuffing more batteries in to achieve range. That's what I call dumb range. So I put it to you that efficiency is the new imperative. What do I mean by that? If we can go further with less batteries, that's true environmentalism. And how can we do that? Through high technology. Let's have a look at what this means. So here we have the longest range electric vehicles recorded in the US by the EPA rating standard. And if you look, the top 6, there's a common theme there, they're all Lucids. This is real. This is validated by the US government Environmental Protection Agency. You can see that Lucid holds the crown for range. But, as I say, to do that with the big battery pack, that's pretty dumb. That's not what the planet needs. We want to do this with less batteries. And we've achieved this 516 miles range in the case of our Grand Touring car for just a 112 kilowatt hour battery pack. That's unprecedented. That means we can go 4.6 miles per kilowatt hour. This, ladies and gentlemen, is truly the litmus of the technological prowess of an EV company. And I believe the future will be defined by a tech race between the companies that adopt and embrace EV technology. And that's why I would believe Tesla's value today of over $1 trillion is based upon its technological prowess. Other companies buy parts and components, motors, inverters, and batteries off the shelf. To the best of my knowledge, there are only 2 EV companies in the world today that design, develop, and manufacture not just their own battery packs, but their motors, their inverters, the software, even the transmission. And those 2 companies are Tesla and Lucid.
This is incredibly important. This confirms a whole bunch of things that I've been saying for some time. Lucid is only the 2nd serious EV company in the US after Tesla, and they are miles, streets ahead of the rest of the competition on the technology front. And Peter has just confirmed that the different Lucid models will also have different size battery packs. That shows some sophistication in the engineering and design. The Grand Touring version that will be made after the initial batch of Dream Editions have been made and sold will have a 112 kilowatt hour battery, and it is even more efficient than the Dream Edition at 4.6 miles per kilowatt hour. And the best bit, unlike GM, Ford, and the rest of the competition, Peter embraces Tesla. He praises Tesla and gives them massive credit for leading the way, for making that path that everyone else can now follow. This, in my opinion, is a massive sign of strength. It is a sign that Lucid isn't just pretending to be serious or making stuff up like the CEO of GM in the last couple of days. It is a sign that they are actually getting it. They are not just here to spread some BS. They are humble and they understand exactly what's happening in the industry.
But the next move on the chessboard will be enabling us to create a car with a more modest range, competitive range, at say 400 miles. And because we've got this incredible efficiency, we can achieve this with a smaller battery pack. And that means less cost because the battery is the biggest single cost item in the car. We can go competitive at 400 miles with an 88 kilowatt hour pack, which is lighter, more cost effective, takes up less room than anyone else. And then we turn this, what is now a technological advantage, on its head to become a commercial advantage. Lighter car, lower costs. And what does that mean? Well, let's look at where we're going to be in a year or two's time. Right now, Dream Edition car is $169,000 US. My dream is to get to a pure version of Lucid Air in the $70,000 price point. And look at the volume sensitivity here to price. And here's the enabler, our efficiency to get the cost down by minimizing the size of the battery pack in a way no one else can.
This is incredibly important. Once again, Lucid is copying the approach that worked very well for Tesla, and I like it. They have started with a high price ticket, high margin, low volume car while they are in the learning stages. But the aim is to go into a more affordable segment over time once they get going, once they're able to scale their production. And they will start with pushing the price of the Lucid Air down. So they're not going to release new models until some point in the future.
And in readiness for that, although we've built a 1 million square foot state-of-the-art electric vehicle factory, the first in North America, we're already quadrupling the size. These pictures were taken just a couple of weeks ago, expanding by 2.85 million square feet, quadrupling the size so that we can go from a 30,000 units per annum capability to 90,000.
So Lucid is planning to ramp towards an annual run rate of 30,000 cars through next year. That is actually incredibly fast and very soon. And it seems to take Lucid and Tesla about a year to build a factory. So we can see here that they've already started work on expanding that Arizona factory to triple that maximum capacity number. Now, 90,000 cars a year doesn't sound like a lot. Tesla is already making way more than that, but if Lucid can get to that number in 2024, on a run rate maybe towards the end of the year, that is still incredibly fast. It took Tesla much, much longer to get there. Tesla only reached a run rate of 90,000 cars per year in 2017. That's only 4 years ago. And that is all the important stuff that I saw in the speech. But what does this mean? Well, Lucid's share price has skyrocketed and is now hovering at around $38 in pre-market trading. My target price for Lucid at the moment is $42, and we're getting a little bit too close to that target price far more quickly than I expected. If the market opens and the price sustains and pushes towards that $40 mark, I will probably be selling. In fact, I will definitely be selling my entire Lucid position. And this is the crucial difference. I absolutely love the company. Perhaps if you watch this video, you will understand that. I love what they are doing, and boy, do I want one of those cars. But I am not getting one because they clearly aren't coming to the UK anytime soon, and there's the little small tiny issue of me no way being able to afford one. But as an investor, I do the exact same thing that I say over and over on my channel. It doesn't matter how much I love the company. When the share price gets too close to my target price and closes that potential upside, I sell out of the stock because I prefer to put my money into other stocks where I still see a big enough upside. So at the moment, the upside on Lucid for me is still over 10% as I'm recording this video. But if I'm looking at it and it's closing to something like 5% later today, I would much rather move my money to a company where I still see a 50% upside or a 100% upside. But who knows? The stock market is mad. The price could fall, and then I'll probably still sit around, and maybe I'm going to be sitting on those Lucid shares for years and not sell. The share price could also easily go all the way up to $60, maybe even $80 after I've already sold at the $40 mark, because that is what the stock market does. But I am cool with that. I am here for my long-term investing strategy, where the averages of all of those different scenarios that happen differently every time play out. If you found this video useful, please don't forget to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. And as always, I'll see you guys later.